Opposition leader Stephenson King has called for a full inquiry into the discrepancy in the GDP figures for the 2010 fiscal year. During his April 2011 budget address, then Prime Minister King declared the economy expanded by 4.4%. But over 1 year later, the new government leader, Dr. Kenny Anthony, revealed the numbers had been revised downwards to 0.6%. Not only has King called for the Director of Statistics to be fired, he now wants an independent investigation into the matter. King says he's not disputing the numbers in 2011 were preliminary and subject to revision, but is amazed by the dramatic change in the percentages.
There have been revisions, but the revisions are within a particular range. On this occasion, the revision has moved from 4.4% to less than 1%. It means that something is fundamentally wrong. And Mr. St. Catherine must tell the nation what was the fundamental issue causing such a drastic change, such a discrepancy in the figures given as preliminary and the actual figures stated by the Prime Minister in the presentation of his budget.
During his rebuttal of the appropriation bill, Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony said the Director of Statistics, in a memo dated April 4, 2011, warned about the unreliability of the data and requested if the figures were made public, the announcement should be tempered with an advisory. King denied knowledge of this correspondence. On Thursday, he described St. Catherine as a subordinate who answers to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, who in turn reports to the Prime Minister and Minister for Finance. Dr. Anthony says, given the warning, King owes the Statistics Director an apology. The leader of the opposition has rejected this suggestion.
The Prime Minister don't dictate to me what I do. He doesn't dictate to me what I do, and that is what I call clouding the issue. It is to apologize and to forget the facts, to forget the essence of this particular situation.
Speaking to HTS on Monday, Edwin St. Catherine sought to explain the reason for the discrepancy in the 2010 GDP figures. He says the inconsistency was caused by an inflation of the numbers for wholesale and retail sales and trade in the construction sector based on the import of goods, which accounts for a huge chunk of the economy. St. Catherine says there were issues with the data from the Customs Department, which was having teething problems with the introduction of new computer software. He says because his department does not control these data sources from Customs, he expressed his misgivings about the GDP figures at several technical meetings.
Customs itself was having challenges in the implementation of our Secure World, and as a result of that, whereas we had to put out a growth rate, and we have a specific and structured mechanism for generating that growth rate, to suggest that somehow we were confident about those numbers is not true.
The leader of the opposition in the press statement describes the GDP revision as a national embarrassment. He claims the island's international reputation is at stake since the data provided by the government department is used by decision-making bodies and key international agencies. King argues a full inquiry into the circumstances surrounding the computation of the GDP numbers will also improve the compilation, processing and analysis of the vital statistics. Winston Springer Jr., HTS News, Channel 4.